So Teodora Goods and the company. When I was a student, especially when I was studying the business subjects, every time I had this question in my mind, if in the reality, when I do the business, if everything will be the same as like this book says. So it was really hard to get this answer. So now I really hope you students gonna use this opportunity well, because I am that case where actually, I am running the business. So whatever materials I'm gonna give it to you, it's not from the books, it's from my experience. So we can actually discuss the real situation in Uzbekistan, and I will be very honest with you. So whatever questions you have, let's discuss. I really hope they are actually listening, because like the mics are off, the cameras are off. They can actually eat food or be in the Facebook and not listen.
No, Teodora, those who are here, they're actually gonna listen to you.
Cool. Okay. So this is the short information about me. Right. So I opened the company like 3 years ago, and I did face with a quality control and operations control cases, even when I didn't know that what it is. I was like, I just had to do this. So before, when I was asked to do the presentation for you and just to share my experience, and I was like, I had to prepare for it. So I was like, okay, I opened the YouTube and I wanted to see like, what do you actually study in terms of like, when they say the quality operations or like the operations management, what is those like what are those subjects teach you? And when I actually go through it, I was like, next, too much of the too much of the information what it's in reality not gonna use. It's just like very giving you very objective maybe information, not very like a pointed one. So my let's say like the theory part will be very short, which is this one. So again, not from books, from my experience. What is the operation management? It's all operations what are happening in your company. What are the, so like whatever you run, all operations there, this is the operation management. Quality operation, it's the operation what are responsible for the quality control. I can see Teodora maybe will be very disappointed that she invited me, because like I'm making it like the information from book not important. But no, it's just like when you come to the reality, the things are gonna be more, let's say, more serious, and they need more work, not the theory. So if I were a director of the university, I would actually, like when I want to teach business, I would make you all to open a company, register it, and then I would go like, through the practice, like, okay, now we're listening this, we're going through this lesson, so here is it. Because only when you have real experience, you're gonna, let's say, you're gonna learn the right way. So because we don't have this case, I don't know if anyone from you run the company. So maybe when we come to the questions part, we can discuss it. Maybe if you run the company or you have an ideas, we can discuss like if we can, I can maybe, let's say, give you some tips how to start. But since we don't have it, and what I'm saying, like if we actually wanna, learn it right way. So let's just go to the past and maybe come back to the reality. Let's learn my experience. So 3 years ago, how it happened with me. First of all, like if we talk about on the point of like, if we talk about operations management. So 3 years ago, I'm 27 now. So when I was like 24, I opened the company. My job was to export fruits and vegetables. What I faced with, okay, my first shipment was good, but like 2-3 shipments after that was like a total fail. So I lost a lot of money. Why? Because I did everything the same way as others do in Uzbekistan. So in agriculture business, They do not follow the technologically correct, like, right. So there is always the formula for each product, but they are not doing it. They're just doing it old way, like 20 years ago, 20 years back, they did it the same. So now they still doing it the same. And when I was just entering the business, I started doing the same, and I was keep losing. But then I was like, no, 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 that's not how it's supposed to be. So I started learning from the European experience how it's supposed to be. Like, when you get the fruits, when there is a harvest, there is a certain timing when it has to reach the cold storage. There is a certain timing when you have to, like, pack. There is a certain rules, like you have to wear gloves when you pack. There is also the rules, like you cannot keep persimmons with apples, you know, because it gets spoiled very fast. So there is this kind of a things which they're not written in the books. So you have to go through, like, in my case, I have to go through the hard way to learn it. So I lost a lot of money, and not my money, others' money, so I'm still paying back. Yeah, so that's why, like, speaking from my experience, I can tell you, once you open the company, the first important thing you have to do, you need to get the statistics. You need to get the numbers. Like, now, when I want to export something, first thing what I do is like a big research. So if it's a persimmon, so we go to Surkhandarya. My staff already know. There is, for each my staff, there is a formula. They always know what they have to do. Like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, right? So they go and they get the numbers. This, like, they go villages. So statistics. How many villages we have for persimmons? 51 village. Cool. How many people are ready to sell? So there is like 120 from here, 130 from here, 50 from here. Cool. For what's the price they're ready to sell? Okay, cool. So, like, how many tons we can get? Okay, but what if they change their mind? So we need this, like, 50% of it. We need all the numbers. So before doing anything, you need all the numbers because your operations and quality management, it's all about, like, new formula, right? So before doing it, you first, like, how are you going to build it? You first need, like, your right numbers. So it's all about, like, a statistics. So yeah, once you get the statistics, so, like, let's talk about persimmons in Surkhandarya. So this is like one of those one of the hardest export cases in my experience. What I got when I had to really work on the algorithm, how to make it right. What is the hardest part? Because if it was grapes, 1 hectare of grapes gives you 20 tons of product. However, when it comes to persimmons, 1 hectare of the persimmons gives you, 1 second, 1 hectare of persimmons gives you 5 tons maybe. And people usually don't have 1 hectare. So you really depend on, like, if you get, to make 1 container of the grapes, you can work with 1 farmer. But to make 1 container of persimmons, you have to work at least with 10 farmers. And, like, if something changes, you really, like, will be not in a good situation. That's why you need to have a backup plan, which is like another 20 farmers, you know, just in case. So it's a big number of, like, varieties what changes. So yeah, first we came to Surkhandarya. We had this list of the farmers who has it. Cool. Now we have to find the cold storage. Okay, the cold storage. We checked like 3 of them, and the cold storage have to have the kara. Kara is something like a car, what can hold up a big amount and put it to the container. If you don't have it, you have to do it like with your hands. But it's not technologically right process, because your container will be open, and even if you cooled up the fruits, once you bring it 1 by 1 your box, you put it inside, you go and take another one. So that one, like, you can full the container, the 20 tons container, after 4 hours. Within these 4 hours, there is no use of you cooling down your fruits because it's already, it's already, how to say, so the heat will be up, right? Um, so, um, so we need the kara. That's why we need the right cold storage. And also sometimes it shows like a temperature, let's say like 5 degrees, but in reality it's like 10 degrees because it doesn't work. So we need to check these kind of things too. So yeah, cold storage. Now, the next, workers, stuff. We need, how's it called? So we need for one container around like, let's say 40 workers. So we need to find them. There are these like daily workers, so you can invite them. But once you invite them, another day, it's like in the morning, we had these cases, so we like we had the deal with a 20 of stuff, yeah. But the early morning they're like, oh sorry, there is only 10. But I mean, like, but everything is already, the formula already says we need 20. I mean, like, how? Like, it's gonna be like, it's not gonna work, Like, we need this certain amount of people. So every time I had to learn the hard way. So okay, if I need 20, I every time have to invite like 30 just in case, So there will be some extras, So this is the stuff. Then Isuzu. Isuzu is those small cars. What brings, So once. So you have like 20 farms. So from 20 farms, you have to bring the product, right? There is upakovщицы, like the packers. They are packing, and then they are, how's it called? They are bringing these fruits to the cold storage, right? But then Isuzu's also, like, something is broken, somebody's not picking up the phone. So you really have to talk with each of and every one of them, so they will be on time. They, take all the fruits, and then they bring it to the cold storage. And another thing is like the fees. So we came up with like the one time bringing it will be 50,000. But then they figured out I'm doing it every day, so, and I really depend on them. So the next day they're like, oh sorry, it's 100,000. And then after 1 week, it was like, oh, I'm sorry, but it was like 200,000. It's a real story. So the real story, we had the case, Isuzu, from 50,000, it came one Isuzu, from 50,000, it was like up to 400,000. Like, seriously, how you can even, like, know it from the beginning and calculate it right? Because like there is like 10 Isuzus, so it's like at the end it's actually pricey, so you are not going to be fit into your like a financial plan, so these kind of things, every time it feels like, жонглировать, знаете, эти вот яйцами, да? Like everything is just like falling down, this doesn't work. Yeah, and that's the thing. So you need to write the algorithm what works. Another interesting part, even if you think it works, it will not work until you actually try it. See, whenever I work with these daily workers, right, those women who lives in the villages with no water, those who, like, the Tashkent girls will not even, like, can be very mean about, they are like from Kishlag, but I depend on them, right? So that's why what I do, once we write the formula, I actually go, I wear almost the same clothes. Like, if you go to my Instagram, you will see how I wear. So I actually pack. This is what I do. First day, I pack with them, and I check with the timing. You have to do all the work what these people do, the whole chain. This is how you gonna learn it the right way, because you can't, sometimes you give them task, but it will not work until you actually find out what the hardest part. I mean, sometimes, those workers, there is this thing, stickers, so they have to take it and like stick to each fruit, yeah? So you think, oh, it's easy, they can just do it. But sometimes the paper, so we like print it on the wrong paper. It's really hard to take it out. It's just impossible. So they actually have to, use some like instruments to take it out. And you don't know it until you try it, because sometimes they just don't tell you, because you tell them, do it. So they have to do it. This is like a Uzbek way of, you know, running it. So sometimes they just don't have words to say. That's why it's important to try all the go through the whole process, you know, with them, to know how it is. Like another case, I had a driver who had to bring me some documents, and every time I sent him the documents and he's coming back, it took like, and we were in Parkent, so every time I felt like he's doing his own business there, because it took like for the 1 hour work, 1 hour road, he used to come after 3 hours, and I was so mad at him. But it's my rule: never tell anyone, like let's say, okay, never argue until you're actually 100% sure. So that's why, even if I was busy, I actually sat down the next time with him and I went there. And turns out it takes 3 hours somehow. I don't know how, but it takes 3 hours. I mean, like, until we reach and came back. It's just like the road is like this, something is bad, there is a traffic all the time. It's, yeah, by kilometers, it's actually very short. But in reality, it takes 3 hours. So you actually have to know each and every step until you write down your algorithm. Yeah, and this is important. So once you find out, like once you write your algorithm, the next step is testing. So cool, like we know the formula, cool. Now is the testing. So in my case, like, I mean, so we started the whole process, like procedure. Yeah, we have people on who were packing in the cold storage. We have people who are in quality control in the farms, who are checking the quality of the product. We have people for the logistics, who is like controlling when the car is coming, and like for the boxes, for everything. And so yeah, but we also have to be ready that something like will not work. That's why for the testing we have plan B always. Yeah, testing comes with a plan B. Yeah, and then improvement. So let me tell you this: when I am during my export, let's say, tasks. So whenever I'm in Surkhandarya, in Fergana, in Kashkadarya, when we are preparing goods for the shipment, for the first 3 days, I'm the one who doesn't get a sleep. I'm the one who doesn't eat. My stuff, I'm always taking care of them. Like first 3 days is like I'm Kilinka, you know. I have to take care of everything. So I go there. So like my stuff was for some time with me, but then I'm like, okay, go, relax, rest. I'm still will be here. I will be testing. So and then I write these formulas. We have to like at this like 9 o'clock, this car have to be here. Like these people have to be here. The table have to be fit in for the like 13 people. So 2 of them have to be with a weight scale on this side. You know, everything have to be written, and there is like have to be like each of my staff have to have a exact tasks. What do they have to do? What time, and what's the like a KPI for the like a daily KPIs for them, and also indicators of the failures. So what, like if this is not like if this number is too low, then this is like a failure. So call me, you have to do something with it, about it, you know. So 3 days I don't work. Then the number 4 day is when the testing is happening. So here is like I'm half working and half my staff is working, but the rest, when the testing is like is done and the work is happening, because everybody knows, like they don't need me, everybody knows I have to call to the Isuzu, and I have to call to these people, and I have to take care of this, and it's working. I don't have to be there. So I'm in my hotel, I'm just resting, and I'm like, okay, on the phones, okay, is it okay? Is it okay? Numbers. So once you did like this first 3 days, once you worked out the formula, you will have all the information here. And whenever you ask them, so how many tones are ready, yeah? So these numbers, whatever they're doing, they already can tell you everything about the process. So because you know the standard, let's say, so by this time they have to have like a 7 tones, right? So and then you're like, okay, and they're telling you like 2 tones, so you know something is wrong, you know. Like once you go through this procedure, you can numbers will give you a lot of information. They don't have to tell you what happened. You can figure out what happened because you know the process so well, right? And then that's the moment when improvement comes, because even if everything works, but like first 3 days it was because I didn't sleep. Later on, because my staff are not sleeping, we actually have these cases when 72 hours we are not sleeping. Of course, like people cannot work with 72 hours, so that's why we were working like 20 hours. Then there is подсобка, you know, there's like smelly small room with a lot of dirty stuff in there, and one dirty bed. So we were like had it like a queue who will go, and just in our clothes we were just like sleeping and resting for like, okay, my turn, 2 hours, you know, and then go back to work. I mean, this is what actually happens here. And that's why I understand I'm in my hotel, but my staff is, they working, it's happening, but it's because the price for it is their health, and it can't be like that. So we slowly coming for the improvement. So once everything is done, so once everything is settled, and we know the daily basis, they can make like, let's say, they can make 15 tons per day. Cool. Okay. So then, in order to make it more healthy way, let's make it 10 tons, but they finish like at 5 p.m. So everybody can go and rest. And this is what we call improvement. Yeah. So the system still can work, the formula still can work, but people, I mean, can, you know, have their normal life, right? And also, like, improvement is not just about people, of course. It's, I mean, you are improving each and every part, so you can find the better farmers who can, you know, deal with. You can find a better driver for Isuzu, because he's not asking a lot of money. He's ready to work like a daily, I mean, 24/7 to bring you, I mean, from different places the fruits. I mean, so improvement, like all this hard to control part, you have to make it like, you know, easier, right? So that's an improvement. Automation. So this is the last part and the perfect part, and this is what 99% of Uzbek businessmen ignore. And you students shouldn't do that. I mean, since you are actually learning business, what many of us didn't have opportunity. I mean, we just started it, you know. So since you're learning, please think about that. In every business, there should be the last point. This should be automation. Automation. Автоматизация. Automation. Because I mean, you can't always depend on people. And people have their, like, they can do a lot of mistakes during work. And also I mean, if you don't come up with automation, it will, you will have this problem with масштабирование, so growing your company. You will be always dependent in the size, right? But once you have automation, so imagine like the computer says Isuzu to come, the computer says the producer of boxes to bring the boxes, the computer says like for people to come, you know, the machines always pack, you know, and it just goes and goes and goes. So I don't like, but if I could do with just normal stuff, maybe only 20 tons. So now I can do like 100 tons. I can actually have, like, I can actually supply to Europe, to other countries, and I can grow, you know. This is what automations does it for you, and you can sleep, and your managers can sleep at night, you know. That's kind of like an important part. So, but like, I meet, like, I'm kind of young businessman. I'm female businessman in a very manly business, and I get to meet a lot of businessmen who are 50 plus, you know, very old school mind, and they are. What can I tell? What I can surely tell you about businessmen, the old school businessmen in Uzbekistan, they don't care about improvement. I don't know why. So they do it the same way, same mistakes, same formula what doesn't work, you know. So many of them, quite a number of them. So it's kind of important. It's not just important, it's actually, there is a big opportunity in Uzbekistan to run a business. Just do it right way, because it's like, I was 24. I came to this business with zero capital. I didn't have any money. I just had experience. Um, there is actually, I was just doing this presentation in MIT University. I believe they have in YouTube this video. So if anybody will be interested, I can, like, first I will get the link, then I will send you the link. There is a story. You can see my story. It's actually a pure truth. I didn't have any money and I started the business. So I mean, you still can do that just because you're doing it right way, right? So now, in my case, because it was agro industry, I couldn't do automation because there is many let's say переменные varieties. How to say переменные in English? Don't know. Anyways, переменные, the переменные. Yeah. So it's really hard to, even if you do your part, if you build the automation for your part, there is many other parts what you can't interfere. That's why my company, Teodora Goods, the export company, has to stop the export for 90%. At this moment, we are not exporting fruits for 90%. We are only exporting to pomegranates because I have staff and I have to pay salaries for them. So a little bit of export there is still, but because I care about what's happening in the market and I care that we need to actually develop it. That's why we opened the new company, which is Delatech. So Delatech company, it is platform where we're gonna bring all the agro like игроки, players, no? So all the farmers, all the traders, the cold storages, the banks, insurance companies, everyone will be on the same platform. So we can actually control the processes of preparing the product based on the whole country. We're gonna have the whole picture. So we actually can, in this case, so we will have like around 100,000 of the farmers who will be in the list. And if the trader want to work with them, they can like type in and search, like, okay, I'm searching for the pomegranates. Okay, pomegranates. There will be a list of the farmers who have pomegranates with the numbers, with all the details. Cool. So they want to contact, so they're searching for the cold storage nearby. Okay, cool. And then they, for the cold storages, we are giving the license. So we are actually teaching them the right quality management process. So we are teaching them how to make it right. And they're going through the examination, right? So all the products what will be go through our platform, they will be followed by the all quality. Whatever did my staff, they don't have to do it. They just bring it and the system works. So we are using SAP. I don't know in your subject, have you already went through it or not? But I think it will be important to find out. Please, maybe on weekends, go and check what is SAP. This year, there was this Forbes, I think, announced that the most rich guy is Amazon, right? The Amazon founder. However, if you will compare the SAP profit, it's actually several times bigger than the Amazon's. So that's how big the company is. And we are also doing our platform based on the SAP. It's like a German company. So what we are doing automation of the agro industry of the whole Uzbekistan. Which will control the quality and the operations management. So we're actually doing a revolution here. So this is shortly, yes, it's done.
Lecture. That was interesting, but I think it was too much for the students. Now, let me help you put it into boxes, right?
Okay.
So just to sum up, Teodora, you started off when you were 24, you started off your export, you only export fruit, right? You started your export company in Uzbekistan. and now you're moving away from this export. So with the time, if your second business is going to work, you will actually move from exporting to this IT sphere. Did I understand you correctly?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you planning to stay within this export of fruits or no? And why not? If the answer is
Why not? Because no, actually I will. I just as you heard, it's impossible to do it now because there is no system. So once there will be a system, I can export. And yes, I'm planning to do it. That's why, because I want to export, I just want to build systems so it will not be on the price of my people and me. I just want to do it on the right system when it's gonna work.
okay, Teodora. And whilst the students are thinking with their questions, students, please, if you have questions, please write in the chat or turn on your microphone. I will also help to, get some information. Teodora, did you have any work experience before opening your business?
Yes, I did. So shortly, I went when I was 19. I went to Malaysia to study. I didn't graduate because my parents couldn't pay, so I started working there. So very short experience I have working in importing fruits, nuts from Uzbekistan to Malaysia, but it was just few months. I came back to Uzbekistan. I saw the opportunity here. I worked in agro business here for 9 months. I saw that the owner of that business did a lot of mistakes. He just did it a very old way. So I figured out it should be different, and I opened my own company and I started doing it different.
So it took 9 months, right, before you open your own company, right, in Uzbekistan. I mean.
Yeah, for 9 months, 9 months, I learned how to do it right.
Okay, great. What about the difficulties? Did you have any difficulties when you opened the company? Like
How
how did
much time we have?
and
Write it down. So many of them. But yeah, it was the most important is psychological difficulty. You're just not ready for the many problems what's happening there. Um, if you want, if I have to put it on the box because we don't have much time, people is the biggest problem. People, their minds. Because here I can see how it should be right, but it's difficult to explain other people how it should be right. And for the emotions, another thing, you have to really control your emotions, because if you're not controlling them, and you're gonna make a lot of problem, because screaming and yelling is not an option. You
so
really.
what people are you talking about? The if you are the owner of the company, so what other people like
Oh,
who?
you're gonna babysit a lot of people once you be an owner of the company. To be honest, I'm talking about your stuff, because I feel like a mother sometimes, because everybody was their problems, and sometimes I had the ultimatum, like, you have to fire this, and I have to come, like, I have to be the stuff. But okay, shortly, people as your staff, people as farmers, because you depend on them. Those who are like who are preparing your goods, your suppliers, people as these daily workers. Yes.
If I understood rightly, like you mean the stuff, the goods, I mean, you are exporting should be as its standard, right? But they cannot supply you such goods. Am I right?
Oh,
So,
yeah. They
am I
can't
right?
do it. You have
Am
to do
I
it yourself.
now? Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So did I understand you right? So for example, when you are exporting some kind of goods, but the suppliers, I mean the farmers, cannot supply you as the good as you want, right?
Yes,
This is the point.
absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, they can't, even if they really want, they can't, because I learned it from, I went to Europe, I went to Italy, I went to Spain, I went to India for the short time, just to understand how to do it right.
Okay.
So it's a whole um, science. It's not something simple to learn.
Okay, I understand you. I understand. So, how did you tackle with the problem actually? So, did you change any kind of like operation or like packing or boxing? What did you change? Oral.
Again, how I solve which problem with people?
Yeah, with people with the goods, like you said that
I
the
had to change myself. honestly,
Okay.
because I mean, problem came because I wasn't ready to talk to them in a right way. You can always there is always a right way, you know. So first, when I was mad, I remember it's one of the cases in Surkhadaria. So there is this guy. So he came. He was under alcohol, so he didn't
Okay.
actually deliver the 50 tons, and was like everybody delivered, and he's just coming, and he's like, I'm sorry, you know, I didn't bring it, but you know, just give me more money and I will bring it. So I was so mad, and I was yelling on the like the whole village. Do you think it helped? I almost got into fight. It didn't help. I was just at the end. I was no farmer and no the product, you know. So sometimes there is always a right way of planning. It's all about how you plan, and you always have to control your emotions. It's really important at the beginning, but you can't change really people. Maybe you can select, you have more options, like not at the beginning I was selecting from the 5 people, so later I learned to have like 100 people, so find the better ones from them, but always have plan B. So if somebody is screwing up, choosing another one and working with them, but you
Right.
can't change the people themselves.
As I understood, the most important thing is like your stuff, right? In your business. So, for example, if your stuff is good, then your goods are good, right?
Again.
Is it clear now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm telling the most important thing in your business is the staff. I mean, the workers, right? So, if your workers are good, then your goods are good. I mean, your products which are exporting, which are being exported are good, right?
See, if you're not just asking to fill the pause, if you're really interested, I can invite you, or I
Oh,
can
okay.
invite students to my company, because if you wanted the real answer, it's not just that. It's not something like the business is not as that easy. You just get the best stuff and then everything is cool. It depends on many different factors, but staff team is, if you gotta get, if there is like many opportunity, many parts where you, if they ask me like, Dora, where you want like the best instrument you want to have, technologies, stuff, you know, this, that, then I would choose stuff. Yes, because when you're surrounded with the right people, things are get much faster and you can solve much faster things. Yeah, but it's not just that, there's many other things.
Okay. May I give next question or do any other have?
If you don't mind, I have a specific question, which is similar to yours.
Okay.
Okay, if you don't mind, Mansur John, of course.
Yeah, for sure. Why not? Go
Thank
ahead.
you very much. So, as I understand, you are dependent on the suppliers, but you grow your own fruits.
No, I don't grow them.
So you are dependent, right?
Yeah, I depend.
So specifically, can you tell me, please, based on what factors? So you will work with specific farmers, and are you consistently satisfied with the products of your suppliers?
Well, see, let me tell you this way. First, the products what my customer wants are always different. So sometimes it's, let's say, pomegranate, sometimes persimmons. But one farmer is growing something one. So even if the farmer is good, I might will not come back to him after 2-3 months, because I just simply have different order. So I am in a different place. So we have these cases, but sometimes, but most of the time, farmer itself is not good, because the Uzbek mentality, you're gonna face it with all businesses. Uzbek mentality just wants to do the same way they always did. And this is like the biggest problem I have. So you asking how I'm choosing the farmer. I'm choosing the farmer when that way. When I tell him what I'm gonna do, and I'm all giving all these crazy ideas, I need them, those people who are gonna say, "Oh, okay, let's do it." You know. So if he's ready for this, cool. If he's like, oh, you know what, I'm not ready for that, no, I don't want to do that, let's just do it all the way with old boxes with 2 rows, when I will put you all bad quality products on the first row and good quality on top, just buy it this way, everybody buys it, buy it this way. No, I'm not gonna work with them. So
I think, I'm sorry for interruption. I think he is asking actually about that criteria. Like, can you like give an example of those criteria that you have?
Yeah, open-minded.
Supplier.
Open-minded to open the news.
Yes, I actually I got it, but do you change your suppliers frequently? So you started to work with a specific supplier, and after some period, so you didn't satisfied with the products that the supplier is providing you, so you change it. And does it happen frequently? So you change the
Yes.
suppliers.
So if you want to understand in numbers, I can tell you. So in 3 years, I think I worked with at least 400 or 500 farmers, at least, maybe more. But those who I actually don't mind to come back, 1 or 2, not more. So this is how much they are failing us. They are not delivering whatever they promise. It's not about the product, it's about the promises. The promises, their promises just doesn't mean anything. I mean, they never fill up with this. That's why I can't depend on them. That's why I'm building the system. So we will not depend on any promises.
So you know that they cannot satisfy you. That's why you try to work with a wide range of suppliers to have a backup plan, right?
Yeah,
Thank
so
you very much,
you
as I
can't
understand.
put the keys on their, like, pocket. So you actually have to not depend on them. You have to have different options.
All right, thank you. I got it.
Cool.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, any other questions that you might have? What time is it? We have time. We have 15 minutes. Okay, I have a question in the chat. Do you have any mentors in business, Teodora?
Good question. I had when I just started, I was doing all by myself. I didn't have any mentors. And then I got mentors, what I thought they are the best. And maybe you're gonna have also this problem, like if you start a business. I kind of because there was 2 Russians, who studied in UK, who had these like cool diplomas in super universities. They were teaching me how to do the business, and to them, yeah, I learned a lot of things. But also they did a very stupid, they were decision makers in business. Because of them, we lost 450 tons of persimmons and 250 tons of the grapes, just because of like very small, okay, I will not gonna explain you what was the situation, but the decision was so stupid, it was so obvious, and they're like, no, we're gonna do this way, and they just didn't want to change it. So we lost like $300,000 just because of one small decision, they're like, and I'm a girl with no degree, and they're like 2 guys, with like a UK degree. So sometimes it's not about degrees, sometimes it's just about like how the process, so but they were supposed to be my mentors. So and now the whole debts, and then they disappeared, the debts are on me, I'm still paying them, so this is like surprise kind of situation in the business. And yeah, it happens, and that's why always question who your mentor is. Now I have mentor, yes, I can say. I mean, it's more like friends. So sometimes we're just in a coffee shop, we talk, we exchange the minds. So I hear their experience, their opinions, but always don't blindly think that somebody knows better. Never think like this. Always have this question mark.
Okay, I have Aziza. Who? I have Aziza. Question. She's interested. Which university in Malaysia did you attend? And she again asked why you quit it. So you might want to say it again.
It's Asia Pacific University. Many Uzbek students went there, but many Uzbek students went there to study business. I went first. I studied business, but then I switched to engineering. I was doing electronics engineering. I graduated only 1 year. I finished only 1 year, sorry. But my parents could not pay for the studies there. It was kind of expensive at that moment. There was like a money exchange really changed here. Yeah, and then I started working there. And I don't want to go back to studies because I just don't have time. When I want to study, I go to Coursera and I go to for the short course. Yes.
Okay.
How did
Any
you
other?
find your clients? First of all, I'm sorry.
Go
How
on. Go
did,
on.
how did you find your clients? I mean, your customers.
Oh, okay.
Potential, yeah.
Okay, but in my formula, if you heard, first like 9 months, I worked in agro industry. So when you work, you kind of know the way how to find them. So in my case, it was all bees. There is this platform. Uh, it's like Alibaba, but for the CIS countries, it calls all bees. So we got a lot of requests from there. And of course, 90% doesn't work, but 10% does work. So yeah, so from my first client, I found from there,
Okay.
all bees platform, online. And okay, just to understand, yeah, we have different big sharks in Uzbekistan in export-import business. I'm the small one, but I was one of the first who got X5, Dixie, and Magnet. It's top 3 biggest supermarkets in Russia. Just to have a contract with them, you have to spend half a year. So, and I've got 3 of them. I'm not working with them now because it's another topic, how they can screw you. But but I did have success stories with them. And for your information, I also was the first one who exported to France. It was very successful. So before us, nobody exported fruits to France. So yeah, this is one of our customers.
What about the payment terms? Did they agree with your payment term? I mean, prepayment or post-payment?
Yeah, what about payment again?
Yeah. I mean the payment term.
What's the payment term with them? You
Yeah.
mean supermarkets?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always after, like, so 1 month after they receive the money. Receive the product.
Okay. Cool.
First стулья, потом деньги, right? That's the.
Yeah.
I have a question. Yeah, I have a question in the chat. Do you have any problems with programmers in your startup business? They also promise, but they fail the deadlines. Very good point.
Okay, see, because I do not have a programming background, I'm not the one who can judge. And we also we are not writing the program ourselves. We're actually paying a lot of money to Germany, and we're telling them what we want. So they are preparing it. And SAP, it's something, so you can understand, so who is on SAP? Now, Akfa now just also got SAP SAP. Who else we have here? SAG, also this like a carpet big factory. So we are working with the professionals. We are paying a lot of money to them, so they're building it for us. But yeah, maybe if we would do it in Uzbekistan, if we would hire programmers here, we might will have it longer, because we started our this Dalatech company. We started it in September, and in January we're gonna have already the MVP. It's a first testing the application. Yeah, if we had it in Uzbekistan, the team it might will take longer.
Thank you, Teodora. I have one student, Aziza. She says that without a degree, you're doing a very great job. You're a perfect example of a girl boss. Thank you for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and we have another question in the chat. If it's not a secret, can you share how much does it cost? How much does it cost what? A startup or what? Yeah, SAP. Oh, he's wondering about SAP costs.
Okay.
You say approximate.
Yeah, I can say. So it's around $20,000 for the beginning. Well, okay, we're signing the contract for $20,000, but first year it's only $5,000. So the rest we have to pay the next stages. You also should understand that there is a certain amount of money. We are actually putting our own money, but then once we have the application ready, we're gonna attract much bigger. We are talking about the millions of dollars from the organizations, because what we are doing, we are doing what our government have to do actually. We are taking care of the agra problems, different kind of problems. Like I mean, maybe once we have a presentation about it, but we are covering many different problems in terms of finance, technology, quality. So yeah, and we are planning to attract a big amount of money, and we already have offers. So we are choosing.